Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
Father O'Malley rose from his bed one morning. It was a fine spring day in his new Washington, D.C. parish. He walked to the window of his bedroom to get a deep breath of the beautiful day outside. He then noticed there was a jackass lying dead in the middle of the front lawn. He promptly called the White House and asked for the president. The conversation went something like this. "Good morning, this is Barack Obama. How might I help you?" And the priest said, "And the best of the day to ye yourself. This is Father O'Malley at St. Anne's Catholic Church. There's a donkey laying dead on me front lawn, and would ye be so kind as to send over a couple of your lads to take care of the matter?" Barack, considering himself to be quite a wit, and recognizing the Irish accent, thought he would have a little fun with the good father, and he replied, "Well now, Father, it was always my impression that you people took care of the last rites." There was dead silence on the line for a moment. Father O'Malley then replied, "Aye, 'tis certainly true, but we are also obliged to notify the next of kin first, which is the reason for me call." I love that one. I love that one. Good morning. Here comes Kate Smith and God Bless America, followed by a patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning. Oh, good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Zeb at the Ranch, I'm Zeb Bell with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, along with some of our great advertisers like Western Waste Services, always at your disposal. Call 734-6969. Right now, without further ado, let's go have the Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Good morning, young man.
How are you, Dal?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well done, well said, and thank you, my dear friend. Say hello to that blushing bride of yours, would you please?
I'll do it.
Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. I love those folks. Thank you very much. Time for the weather, and the weather is brought to you by Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for that blue door. Holy smokes, they've got everything for your carpet and flooring. Oh, my goodness, they've got all kinds of tile at very economical rates. Stop in and see what they have today. And all the home decor items, whatever you need to make your house a home. Really super good folks at Cheney Flooring and Home Design. Look for that blue door at 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Right now, here's the weather.
Here's your weather forecast as we saddle up and ride again on this Thursday, November 10th, and it is going to be a beautiful day and getting even better as we work closer towards the weekend. Sunny skies and 67 is what we're looking at. Overnight low of 43. Tomorrow, maybe 70, just depending on where you're at. Sunny skies and 68 is the actual temperature. Overnight low of 44. And then for the weekend, more clouds are going to be moving in, but still unseasonably warm. Looks like highs in the low to mid-60s, and lows are going to be in the low 40s. That is your weather for Zep at the Ranch.
Wow, wow, wow. That's all you can say about our weather. Wow. Brought to you by Cheney Flooring and Home Design. 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Yep, look for that blue door. Great folks, whatever you need to make your house a home. Hey, Merv May, let's sell some cattle. Come on in here.
All right. Hey, good set of steer calves there. Here to get $31, 31.
Oh, that's the chant of the world's best auctioneer, in my opinion. He can give it to you. You better believe it. Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Merv May, Cade Rogge, Lance Udy, all working for you. That's right, the sale that works for you. 10 o'clock sale time today, 10 o'clock. Don't forget, for cattle consignments and sale information, call them at 678-9411. Got some ripping good cattle coming in today. Greg Barkdahl at Coldwater Hill bringing in 120 head of calves. They're good ones. And Travis Burton over there at Tremont's bringing in 50 head of calves. Along with Tom Gary. Hello, Tom. Haven't talked to you for a long time. Up on the hill at Albion, 150 good calves. James Robinson over to Rockland, 25 head of calves. Will and Bud Bedke are bringing in a semi-load of mixed yearlings and butcher cows. Hello, folks. And the P-Bar S Dairy is bringing in 89 head of 900-pound Holstein steers. Butcher cows coming through the ring from Acme Dairy, TLK Dairy, Oak Valley Dairy. Sale time at 10 a.m. this morning at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Merv May, Cade Rogge, and Lance Udy. Hey, I'll tell you what, let's sell those steers, Merv. Go ahead, please.
All right. Hey, good set of steer calves there. Here to get $31, 31, 32, 2 and a half, 3 and a half, 134, 4 and a half, 5 and a half, 130, 550, 135 and a half, selling $35. Zeb Bell gets bottom again.
Now, I'll tell you what, thank you, Merv. Great job. I wish I could do that chant like he does. Oh, man, he is so smooth. Way to go. I've got some anniversary wishes and also a happy birthday I need to get on this morning. Happy anniversary to Kate and Jimmy Edwards, and I believe they're living down close to Las Vegas, Nevada now, and they listen on the internet. Thank you very much, zebbell.com. And this Saturday is a very special birthday to a very special young lady that has been very nice to this program, Abby Hansen. God bless Abby. Happy birthday this Saturday. And best wishes to everybody. Thank you very much. Don't forget our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Number to call, 678-0459. They're open 7:30 to 5 Monday through Friday. And I was reading a story in the paper this morning about, we're being lulled into a false sense of security with this nice weather in the 60s, almost 70 degrees. Look out! Somebody's going to pull the trap door open, and it's going to get cold. Well, be ready with your furnace to have furnace filters that are clean and efficient, and they have them for you at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, where they provide warm winters and cool summers. Let's also, this commercial is so hard for me to do because I'm sitting at my desk and I can't. You want my red book? Okay, thank you for interrupting my ad. That's okay, dear. The wife speaks, I listen. There you go, Denny's Restaurant, 611 Overland in Burley. Listen to these pumpkin cream pancakes. 2 fluffy pumpkin pancakes layered and topped with pumpkin cream, eggs, hash browns, choice of bacon or sausage links. Absolutely delicious. Be sure and stop in to America's Diner, Denny's Restaurant, 611 Overland in Burley, and 291 Poline Road in Twin Falls. Yes, sirree, the best. America's Diner, Denny's Restaurant, the home of Zeb's Lunch Bunch. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, buddy.
Hey, what do you get when kind of society you get when you give everybody trophies and nobody has to learn about the deal of winning and losing?
You get a bunch of wussy kids that right now go all the way from grade school, high school, into the college ranks, 22, 23-year-olds that stand there and go, Oh, I'm so upset. Donald Trump won. Oh, I need therapy. Oh, I need a hot cup of chocolate. Oh, I need to be excused from class. I'm a wuss. I can't handle it.
Yeah, my suggestion to him is take off the Pampers and put on a pair of adult underwear.
You know, I have no time for this. I don't have any sympathy for these kinds of people. I don't have any sympathy for the students. I don't have any sympathy for their parents. I don't have any sympathy for the school teachers. I mean, we're raising a nation of absolute idiotic wussies, and I dare anybody to tell me I'm wrong.
You're hit it right on the head there, buddy. You hit it right on the head, and I've had a few people on Facebook have been complaining about what's going on, and with the election, and we're doomed, and what are we going to tell our children? Did you read that?
Oh, I read it, but I didn't want to read it. Does that make sense? It made me so furious. Some of the comments in that issue, I'll read some of them, and this is what a principal said. Oh, what should I say to my students after the election if Trump wins? Oh, tell them that we have a democratic process in the United States that makes it impossible for one mean person to do too much damage. Oh,
I read that. I just sat there shaking my head. I'm going, really?
Oh,
and there's one not so famous person. Well, not so. He's famous, but he hasn't done a real good job. One of his comments, I think it was in 2012. Elections have consequences.
Yeah. What did I say last week? Doug, come on. Now, you listen to this program every morning. And I said last week that if Hillary won, I would fight her policies through every legal venue that I could find. Didn't I say that?
Yes, sir, you did.
But what are the key words in that statement?
Fight.
No, legal venues.
No. Okay.
And now this morning, as of last night, there were 27 major cities in our United States that had disruption and riots and protesters stopping traffic, stopping freeways, stopping crossing the bridges, and they're doing everything they can to be disruptive. That's not legal venues. That's not legal means. These people on the left are absolutely spoiled garbage.
Exactly. Very, very true. I was talking to a gal yesterday that she's a liberal, and I was explaining to her, and she was, he's going to end all of the social programs, and he's not going to fund anything for needy children. And,
baloney.
And all the parents that are disabled, they're not going to be able to get any money.
That's just absolute baloney, and I had to hesitate when I started that word "B" because I almost referred to something out in the feedlot.
Exactly, and I asked her, I said, well, where are you getting all this? She says, well, this is what they're saying on the news. I said, okay. I says, have you looked at Trump's contract with America? No, why should I?
Yeah.
And I says, you mean you're letting your emotions run on just one side of an argument without knowing both sides and knowing what's going on?
Most of the left have minds that are nothing more than amoebic piles of jelly that cannot generate any common sense thought.
Well, it reminds me of those, what was it, not Star Wars, but those space TV shows that had the Borgs.
Yeah.
Where they would plug in at night.
Yeah.
And, they were working for the collective, and the center of the deal was telling them what to do and how to think.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it reminds me of.
I am really, really upset as to the absolute uneducated masses on the left and these kids that are so wussy. Oh, I can't go to school today. I can't take this test because Donald Trump won the presidency, and I'm so distraught. Oh, my gosh. Get a cattle prod, hit them in the butt, and get them going. Life's a big pile of misery. You got to learn how to cope with it.
That's exactly it. I know you got another caller, but one more point. I can't remember what state it was in, where the guy that was on the ballot passed away in August?
Yeah.
and won the election?
Yeah, and quite frankly, he was a lot better than some of the other guys on the list, too. Anyway, I got to run, buddy. Thanks.
Okay.
All right, caller, I'll be right there. Don't go away. Don't forget Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Nick Greenwell, he's going to be on the program with us next hour. And he's the head physical therapist, and all the people there are really, really good at helping you get back to being you with all their exercises, sports medicine, hydrotherapy pool. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. 678-1191, the number to call. I urge you to do so. I go there. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. Caller, good morning. Sorry for the delay.
Zeb,
Yes.
there's only one person working in Hillary's office this morning,
Oh, really?
and that's somebody deleting all of her emails.
Delete, yes, delete, yes, delete, yes, delete, yes. I know what you mean, buddy. Oh, she's not out of the woods yet. She's not out of the woods yet, my friend.
Go Cubbies and go Trumper.
There you go. There you go, buddy. I appreciate that. Calls welcome 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You know, I'm not kidding when I say that we and by no means do I want you for one split second to think that I'm talking about all the younger generation. I know so many great young people that have got their heads screwed on straight, and their vision is down the road for goals that they've set to attain for themselves and their future families. And I mean, these are great kids, but there are a multitude of these young wussies. That's all they are, is wussies. They can't stand up by themselves. Oh, life is so tough. I have no sympathy for these people. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, dab your watery eyes, and go meet life. It's not a bowl of cherries. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Mr. Bell. How are you?
I'm teed off as the Dickens, lady. How are you?
I'm doing better every day.
Good.
You know, these young kids. There was a thing on Facebook, and trust me, I don't listen. I don't believe half of what I see on Facebook. But there's a video of Miley Cyrus just sobbing.
Oh yeah,
a little
yeah,
out,
yeah.
About how Hillary Clinton lost the election and blah blah blah. And now she's kind of retracted a little bit, and she's going to accept Trump as her president.
Uh-huh.
And I wrote back on a comment, and I said, you know what? She's just a little snot-nosed brat who needs her arse busted and her big girl pants pulled up and get on with it.
You know something?
All these college students who can't go to school because they're just so affected. You know what? Kick their butts out of school and make them face reality.
You know,
I am so sick of that crap.
I am getting the impression that you who has gone through some really serious health problems are feeling a lot better because the real you, which imitates and emulates my own negative personality sometime, you're feeling better.
I am feeling better. I got to go in for some blood tests this morning, but I am feeling a lot better. You know, every day's it's a roller coaster. You know, you just got to deal with it. You know, you got to keep a positive attitude about things. You know, Trump wasn't my first choice either, but I dang sure didn't want Hillary in there because she's corrupt, she's a liar, she's crooked. You know, let's see if an outsider can build this country back up to what you and I know it could be.
Absolutely.
Because we've been through it.
You know,
and all these little whine babies, as you put them, tap their butts and make them face reality.
There you go. Somebody call this lady's doctor because she's feeling better, and he better watch out and dot the I's and cross the T's. God bless you.
Thank you, man.
See you later. Good to hear from you. Thank you. I love that lady. She's something special. Oh, I'm so sick of these kids. Oh, they showed pictures of these college students sitting on the curbs and crying on each other's shoulders. And then they offered them free chocolate and free therapy. And they told them that they could go ahead and have a pass so they didn't have to go to school and they didn't have to go to certain class. Oh, it's been so upsetting for them. I feel so bad. Not. You know, what kind of a younger generation is this coming up? And again, I'm not pointing my finger at all the young kids. That would be absolutely wrong to do. But there are some that are nothing more than just, oh, I got out of bed this morning and I learned something new, Mom and Dad, as they're a senior in college. I learned how to tie my own shoes. Aren't you proud of me? Ay, 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 ay. Barry Equipment and Rental. Don't forget they have the equipment to do the job right. That's exactly right. And right now they've got a super deal for you on used rental Bobcat equipment. You can buy it 0% interest on 48 months. Holy buckets. 0% interest on 48 months. This is the place to go. South Lincoln and Jerome, Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Barry Equipment and Rental, absolutely the best. They do have the equipment to get the job done right. Really good folks. Caller, good morning. This is Wussy International. Hello.
Oh, one more thing, buddy. I was hearing this morning about the president pardoning Hillary.
Yeah.
Don't you have to be convicted before you can be pardoned?
You know, and it's amazing, Doug. Your mind and my mind were going down through the same channel. You know, she hasn't had an indictment. She hasn't had any legal means of really pointing the finger at her on certain charges. And that's what I was wondering, too. I mean, the pardoning of felons for whatever crime they committed, Obama's really good at turning them loose. So was Terry McAuliffe in Virginia, 67,000, so the felons could go vote in the election. And they're all convicted. They're all convicted. And right now we haven't had a conviction. We haven't even had a court hearing or anything on Hillary. How can he pardon her? And that's where the onus, I believe, Doug, is going to fall on Trump.
Well, yeah, I mean, she hasn't even been charged.
Yeah.
So how can she be pardoned?
Yeah. Yep,
and
I agree.
Chaffetz said, I loved what Chaffetz said. Well, if she's not guilty of anything, why is everybody taking the fifth?
Yeah, really. I mean, and a lot of them are drinking the fifth afterwards, too.
Drinking it out. Well, there's a few left for drinking it on the 8th.
We better not pursue that one. Anyway, no, I agree with you. I've often questioned that myself. I mean, they're talking about pardoning the old girl and turning her out to pasture, which, of course, she should have never left the pasture in the first place. But, you know, you got to be the court and the judicial ruling, et cetera. None of that has happened.
Exactly. And I personally feel you should not, you know, politics shouldn't, when you come in, you shouldn't throw the one going out or anybody on the other side in prison just because you want them in prison.
Yeah, well, you know, if they were to pardon
the law,
yeah,
that is a different story.
Yep. And there again, though, if Obama was all of a sudden tomorrow morning, fictitiously I'm saying this, to say, well, I, with my omnipotent powers as being the United States of American president, I'm going to pardon Hillary. Isn't that also a vindication of all of her innocence, her guilt, and saying, yeah, you are guilty of these charges, so we're going to go ahead and pardon you and get you out of Dodge City before the end of my term?
Yeah, that's the scary part.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was just something else I wanted to bring up, but you had a caller waiting, and you got one now, so get a little variety.
Oh, I will, buddy. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Caller number 2, I'll be there in just a minute, and we'll talk more about the wussification of America. Oh, these poor college students. I'm snuffing because I can't help it. They're 18 to 22 years old, and they just can't handle the pressure. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Don't forget they're right across from the Minidoka Hospital Emergency Room. Dr. Christine Pickup. She knows hearing. She knows the problems. She knows how to help correct the problems. Please call for a hearing screening today at 312-0957. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Please call that number today. You'll be so glad you did. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, Zeb, I think the reason college children are so distraught is they all thought they were going to be getting free education.
Yep.
And now that Trump's in there, I think the entitlements are going to drop off pretty quick.
You don't think for 5 seconds that maybe it crossed their mind that maybe if Trump's elected president, maybe they might have to have a purpose in life. Maybe they might have to get off the curb. Maybe they might have to fill out a job resume. And maybe they might have to be a productive taxpayer. Do you honestly believe that crossed their mind?
Well, yeah, they're going to need to buckle up, Buttercup, because life is real, and the rest of us have to deal with it. It's their turn, too.
I love that. Buckle up, Buttercup. I'm going to write that down and steal it from you. That's a good one.
All right. Hey, have a good day.
You bet, buddy. Buckle up, Buttercup. That is one of the best things I've heard today. I love that one. I got to save that. Buckle up, Buttercup. That's what we'll tell these kids. And to the actors, to these actors that get a script and they are memorizing their lines with teachers and coaches from Hollywood, and they wear the clothes that the movie gives them. They stand, they walk, they talk, they do everything like roboticized human beings, that all of a sudden when they become a star, they have an IQ of 290, not a Samuel L. Jackson, Whoopi Goldberg, Justin Timberlake, and many others that said emphatically, well, if Donald Trump is elected president, I'm going to leave the United States. I think on behalf of this program, we should start a bank account at an area bank and start throwing nickels, dimes, quarters in that account until we get enough money to absolutely buy the tickets for these people. One way, of course. And let them leave the country like they said they would do. Okay? Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Okay, if all these liberal actors and Al Sharpton are going to leave the country and they gave their word, then if they expect Donald Trump to keep his word on everything he ever said, then by dang, they better keep their word.
Oh, I agree with you so much. You know, I could certainly wake up in the morning and I could certainly have a good day. I could certainly live every day to the fullest without having Samuel L. Jackson or Whoopi Goldberg or Timberlake or whomever in our society. I can do without those people.
Yeah.
God bless you.
Watch their movies, listen to their whatever.
Yeah, no kidding. What a bunch of spoiled brats. Well, if I don't get my way, I'm going to take my football to another country. Good. Take it over there and enjoy. God bless you for your call.
And here's another one. All these little mamby-pambies that are protesting because Trump won, did they even go vote? But that's not my thought. Aren't we so grateful that we didn't have this generation in 1940?
Oh, boy. Amen. Amen. Where would we have been? It's scary and absolutely frightening to think. Thank you very much for that thought. I appreciate that. Thank you. You know, she brought up a really good point. Where would we have been with this kind of an idiotic, leftist, loony attitude back in 1940? Actually, a year before that, 39. Where would we have been? Would the Nazi flag be flying over this country? Would the Japanese flag be flying over this country? Or whatever flag of total power over our great United States? You know, I have no compassion. And nobody out there in Radio Land can change my mind on this. I have no compassion for a wussy society. I don't. That gentleman that called a couple of callers ago that said, buckle up, Buttercup, and get tough. Amen. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to know what you thought of this Cal exit movement that's just starting. You know what that is?
Yeah, I do. And the reason I'm laughing is because my first response would be, gee, can I please help you with packing your bags or floating your boat, whatever it might be? You know, if you want to leave this United States, if you want to have a recession away from the greatest country ever known to mankind, and you want to live all by yourself in a very wussified liberal area and society, have at it. Give it a try for 6 6 months. But promise in writing with a contract with America that you'll never come crawling back asking for any aid or assistance from us, the taxpayers, because you are persona non grata. Does that explain my feeling on this?
It does pretty well. And I have to agree with you. They're going to have their own problem, because if they decide they want to try and go that route, the northern part of California has been trying for quite some time to become another state.
Yeah.
They want to call it the state of Jefferson, I believe.
Yeah.
And they're going to want to secede from California.
You know, when you have you been to California very much, sir?
Yes, I have. I've been there multiple times.
Okay, well, so have I. I used to do a lot of rodeos in California. And when you get to the grassroots people, I don't care if it's Red Bluff, California. I don't care if it's Bakersfield, California. I don't care where it is. There are some really good, work hard for their living people, and they do not deserve to be thrown into the same boat, if you will, as the nuts and the absolute crazies in California. And believe me, there's a lot of good folks down there that would just love to pick up a pitchfork and run these weirdos out of Dodge City.
I'd like to see them do it.
So would I.
California's a beautiful state.
It is a beautiful state.
In the Union, but not at the cost of these people who are throwing temper tantrums like a baby if they don't get their way.
Yeah, but
had we lost, if Trump had not won the election, we would have been upset about it, but I don't think anybody was going to be talking about leaving the country.
No.
Not anybody I know.
Absolutely. And
stay here and fight for our values. What we want to accomplish.
That is exactly your right. You hit the nail on the head real square. Let me tell you something. I said on the air, I can't accept the liberal left policies because that's against my religion, it's against my Christianity, and it's against my morality. But I said I would do anything possible through legal venues, those are the words I used on my program, to fight that kind of a leadership. And that's the way it should be. I'm not going to run. I'm not going to jump in a boat. I'm not going to jump on an airplane with a one-way ticket. I'm going to stay here and be a thorn in their side until they clean up this mess.
Amen.
Thank you for your call. You're always welcome. Thank you very much. I like that guy. He's a good, sharp guy. I got to pay some bills. Oh, my goodness, am I behind. Ramsey Heating and Electric offering rebates on qualified Lennox home comfort systems. Whether it's a gas furnace, air conditioner, or a heat pump, you and your family will enjoy the comfort. Call 678-0459 and learn how Ramsey Heating and Electric and Lennox can save you money. Oh, my goodness, let's not forget to Minicash Sales. Hello, Zach. Zach is Abby's dad, and I'll bet you Zach is really happy and proud. She's having a birthday this Saturday. Happy birthday again, Abby. Minicash Sales, 1321 East Main Street in Burley, right across from the airport, and they sponsor Dr. History every Tuesday at 10:06. They are fantastic. They've got all the upgrade of your windows with the Western windows. Ooh, that cold air is going to come pretty quick. You better be ready, and they can help send over a contractor to do the installation. Stop in or give them a call. Minicash Sales, excuse me, at 1321 East Main Street in Burley, 878-2091. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, Zeb. Well, you know, I'll be glad to buy any of these liberals, Jane Fonda especially.
Oh, yeah.
A one-way ticket. Jane Fonda should have been tried for treason, as you well know, but there's a real danger during the lame duck session of Congress, and I'm sure there will be. They're going to be pushing really hard to get this Trans-Pacific Partnership passed. And Trump, of course, is against it, but I cannot get a commitment out of any of our congressional delegations. And Simpson, Crapo has kind of indicated he's against it. Risch, I've asked and asked and asked. I think he's for it because there's 5 provisions that give somewhat highly regulated trade, and all of the Farm Bureau, all of the Wheat Commission, Barley Commission, they're all for it. They haven't read it. It's 5,554 pages. Nobody's read it. And so we need to get on the phone to our congressional people and say, absolutely not. This will destroy our sovereignty and put us in a regional government, and the little bit of trade, what we're going to do is buy a pig in the poke, so to speak, and it's a really really bad deal.
Well, I know it is, Adrian. I know it. Wait a minute, Adrian.
Our congressional people, because this will be coming up. I am certain it's part of Obama's legacy to get this thing passed, and our stupid Congress doesn't take the time to really study these things out. And I'm sorry, but they are being promoted, pushed, money provided to get this thing passed, and we need to stop it because it will undo a lot of, it'll really be devastating to us, Zeb.
I agree with you, and I thank you for your call. And I do know that Mike was on my program here, not the last time, but the time before, and very emphatically said the way it was written and the way it was set up and established, he was against the TPP, and I'm going to hold his feet to the fire on that. Thank you for your call. I got another one waiting. Thank you.
The promise, Trump has made a lot of promises along the way, and we need to hold his feet to the fire.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I tell you, these lame duck sessions of Congress have always had some of the worst legislation in the history of the U.S. passed during that particular time, and especially right before Christmas when everybody's thinking about the holidays and family and all the good stuff, and they sneak this legislation through because nobody's really paying attention.
I agree with you, Adrian. Thank you for your call, sir, and I'm going to stay on top of that, I promise.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Well said. And the TPP is not, I'll put it this way, all the glitters is not gold in our pockets, believe me. Caller, thank you for your patience. Good morning. You're on the air.
Well, this TPP is he's right, and that's what we got to do is stop him. And then have the new, administration, Trump administration, and the new Republican Senate and the Republican Congress rewrite it so it treats America properly.
Yep.
Because there's things in here. That's right. If you read the magazines, Farm Bureau magazines, the Wheat Commission, I get all those magazines and I read them because I used to farm, and so it doesn't matter. It just means that they're for them, and I really question why they haven't done their research better, because it burns my behind that Farm Bureau is supporting it when there's things in it that are absolutely terrible. Terrible.
Well, and let's...
And this reason why... Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, Randy, stop right there because you're making an excellent point. What some groups perceive as being good for them, they take the entirety of the issue and endorse it, and that's wrong. If it's going to have a negative effect on America in general and hurt business, hurt jobs, and give more power to the United Nations to tell us what to do, I really don't care about the good effects for one organization, because if it's going to do all the negativity, then they better rewrite that doggone thing.
Well, that's exactly right. See, this thing doesn't have to be bad. And we already know that if Obama wants it, you know as well as I do, there's got to be something about it that he wants. It has nothing to do with the few things he's throwing in there to make it appealing to the agriculture community.
That's right.
I mean, I care about my farmer, rancher, and dairyman brothers as much as anybody, because without them, I'm out of business. But this is the thing. There's no use doing this thing wrong.
That's right.
And I'm like Adrian. I'm going to raise hell. And I call back there so much that they get sick of me. And that's fine. But you see, the thing is it can't just be me.
That's right.
Hey, yeah, by the way, Trump just landed in Reagan International, and here we have a president-elect that has his own plane. Why does he need ours? And then, wouldn't you like to be on the fly on the wall in that meeting?
You know, that meeting...
I think Trump is going to back down from that spindle thing that's been running the country into the ground for years. That would be an interesting closed meeting, wouldn't it?
Oh, I would love to be there. Randy, thank you so much for your call. God bless you, man. Thanks.
One quick thing, Zeb. The Trump administration is going to hire 4,000 people for various things. I told my wife, I said, you better get your app in. You better get your app in, Zeb.
Yeah, I'll be sure and get hired, I'm sure. Hey, listen, man, I appreciate it.
Hey, Trump has been known to be very objective and fair, and I know he is. And I think he's good. I really feel great. Thanks, Sam.
All right, take care. Thank you so much. Yeah, at my age right now, the last thing I want to do is go out and start looking for more employment. Not me. Ark Animal Hospital, 750 21st Street in Hayburn. Oh, I love the tagline here. They have warm hearts for cold noses. You know, they've been voted Minnecache's best veterinary hospital for many, many years. Dr. Bill Fulcher, Dr. Liz Schrepfer, the entire crew, they really care about your animals and your pets. It's a mixed animal practice, meaning big or small, they love them all. At Ark Animal Hospital, warm hearts for let me start it all over again. They have warm hearts for cold noses. There you go. I'm sorry about that, Dr. Bill. Anyway, it's time for the weather. I got to get the weather in here real quick, and then we'll take some more of your calls. Don't forget your folks at the Urgent Cares. Riverview Urgent Care, Twin Falls Urgent Care, and Jerome Urgent Care. My goodness, look them up on the website, urgentcareofidaho.com. Kyle James is great staff, and minor emergencies, major care. Got a sprain, a strain, a cut, whatever, an abrasion, just not feeling real good. Well, you stop in and they can help you. And they've got the flu shots, too. Yep, stop in today. Riverview Urgent Care in Burley, Twin Falls Urgent Care in Twin, Jerome Urgent Care in Jerome. And right now, here's the weather.
Here's your weather forecast as we saddle up and ride again on this Thursday, November 10th, and it is going to be a beautiful day and getting even better as we work closer towards the weekend. Sunny skies and 67 is what we're looking at. Overnight low of 43. Tomorrow, maybe 70, just depending on where you're at. Sunny skies and 68 is the actual temperature. Overnight low of 44. And then for the weekend, more clouds are going to be moving in, but still unseasonably warm. Looks like highs in the low to mid-60s, and lows are going to be in the low 40s. That is your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you, Gina, and brought to you by the Urgent Cares. Super nice people. Riverview Urgent Care in Burley, Twin Falls Urgent Care in Twin Falls, and Jerome Urgent Care in Jerome. Minor emergencies, major care. I really want Donald Trump to listen to this program right now this morning. I know he is. He's got it tuned into ZebBell.com, I know. Trump had better not. Hold on, caller, I'll be right there. Trump had better not capitulate to the left and their crazy demands of watering down what he stood for during the election process. I am absolutely adamant. His presidency, these are my words, nobody else's. I don't care if you agree with me or not. His presidency will be defined in the first 30 days. Not the first 100 days. A lot of people want to say, well, you did this the first 100 days. You didn't do this the first 100 days. The first 30 days. If he wavers from what he said he would do, if he wavers, capitulates, weakens, and softens, his term as president is toast. It's out of the toaster and it's on the floor. It's gone. He's got to remain firm. He's got to address the American people as to what he said, whether it's about immigration, whether it's about ISIS, whether it's about the economy, whether it's about the TPP. I don't care whether it's about Obamacare. He's got to remain firm, or he's done. 30 days. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, Zeb. Hey, I've only got a comment, and it's about those beautiful people that want to leave the country now that Zeb's in, that you're in, that Trump's in.
Yes, ma'am.
And I think instead of spending money and buying them tickets, I think we should line up about a dozen barges at the edge of the ocean and put a bunch of cattle trucks and load them up and just give them a free ride.
I do, too.
And I think they'd be happy.
I think that...
I'm going to hang up and listen to you.
Yeah, all righty, thank you. That is the humane way to treat those people. You know, you want to leave the country? We don't want you to pay exorbitant plane fares. No, we're going to tie a bunch of logs together, and possibly towards the end of the little raft, we'll build a little outhouse for you so you have the social amenities. And yes, we can take, let's say 20 to a raft, and we'll link them together so that you can converse with your other idiots along the trip into the dark blue ocean, and we certainly hope you enjoy your trip. I mean, come on. The beautiful people? Are you kidding me? Samuel L. Jackson, Whoopi Goldberg, Justin Timberlake, and the rest of these people, in my opinion, so far from being beautiful people. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. How are you?
Oh, I'm upset as usual. How are you today?
Pretty good. I'm going to bet one of those fancy pancakes you're talking about. But people got to realize these punks and stuff that are demonstrating, they would have demonstrated even if Hillary would have won. They would have been down there celebrating and ripping stuff up and causing all sorts of havoc.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's true. I agree with you. I think you're right. We got a little delay here, sir, and I'm having a hard time hearing you. I apologize. But I think your point is well taken, that the liberal left, they're either going to terrorize people because they lose, or they're going to terrorize people because they're winning and they want to emphasize their point. I agree with you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
God bless you. That's a good point. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
I'm Zeb. I forgot to wish my dad a happy 83rd birthday.
Oh, my. Shame on you.
But I did remember before you went off the air.
That a boy. 83rd.
Tomorrow.
Oh, my.
And I'd also like to congratulate him. He's getting married again tomorrow.
Oh, my goodness. Well, Leonard, if you're listening, God bless you, man. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I might get in trouble. I might get written out of the wheel for telling everybody, but I'm happy for him, and he's happy.
Well, now that you just please emphasize that Deanna and I said congratulations.
I will.
All right. And I'm just really happy for him and happy for your family. God bless you, man. Thanks for your call.
God bless you.
All right. Thank you very much. Caller, I'll be right there. Don't forget Ramsey Heating and Electric offering rebates on qualified Lennox home comfort systems, gas furnaces, air conditioners, and heat pumps. You and your family will enjoy the comfort. Call them at 678-0459 and learn how Ramsey Heating and Electric can save you money with Lennox. Good morning, caller. Wheels, was there another call? I lost Wheels. Somebody took him. Is he there? Well, whatever. We'll go ahead. He's probably on the phone with somebody anyway.
Hear me now?
Pardon me?
You have a caller now, but you didn't before.
Do you mean to tell me that I had kind of this scientific attitude that I was pre-thinking a call come in when it really didn't?
You had the vision.
I see. I had the vision. Okay, let's take a quick call with the vision. Good morning, caller. I have a vision. Go ahead.
Well, I have a vision, too.
Oh, okay.
I have a vision that things are going to be better.
I do, too.
So when I woke up yesterday morning after 2 or 3 hours sleep, and I thought, is it really true? And then this morning, when I woke up, I really felt good, Zeb. I really felt good. Because, this last month, the month of October, actually, I talked to many, many car dealers that I've known over the years, and they said business was terrible all month long.
Yep.
And the reason why is because they didn't know what to do.
Yep.
And now they know.
I really...
things to really, really take off.
I agree with you. And I thank you for your call. I think I got another one, but if not, I got to get a commercial. And Keith, thank you, and God bless you and Nancy. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye.
All right, sir. There's a lot of people that were really putting their hopes and aspirations into a Republican victory, and here it is, and now let's not waste it. Don't forget your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. Oh, my goodness. You have got to read that little brochure called The Winter Driving Resource Guide. How to drive in every winter condition, what kind of tires you need, what about your battery, how to put on tire chains. Very well done. And they talk about the different tires in the different conditions, whether it's dry conditions, rainy conditions, snowy conditions, icy conditions. Well, they can help you at all 7 locations. Not only with the tires, but the front end alignments, the shocks and the struts, and the best in brake service. I mean that. And the best in batteries. All of this and more at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and my buddy Randy on Overland in Burley. Nobody better. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Wheels, did you say I had another call? I'm old and I forgot.
No, sir, you're good.
Oh, well, I don't know about that. Anyway, we're going to get ready to take a little break right now. I've got to restore myself for the hour coming up, and we're going to have the chamber report. We're going to be visiting with Josh Malson up there on the west part of the state about a big bull sale coming up, and we've got Dog Nation. We've got all kinds of goodies. And then Rita at 9:30. Oh, my, what a busy hour. Stay tuned. Zeb at the Ranch. Wheels is going to take us up to CBS News with some music. We'll be back in about 6 minutes. Oh my, here we go. Hour number 2 on a Thursday. Beautiful day. Underline the word beautiful. Look it up in the dictionary and bingo, there's a picture of what today looks like outside. Beautiful day. Welcome to Zeb at the Ranch. I'm Zeb Bell, and our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, along with some of our great advertisers like Western Way Services.
From the canyons of the Snake River and all across southern Idaho, we're always at your disposal. Western Way Services, we care about our community, our resources, and this great land. Western Way Services is lending a hand, always at your disposal. Western Way Services.
Here's something for your to-do, must-do, gotta-get-it-done-today list, and that's, of course, call Western Waste Services, 734-6969, and get on the route service and get rid of your garbage. The truck comes by once a week and picks your garbage up. You can stand on the front porch and wave goodbye to the garbage. It's gone, thanks to Western Waste Services. Always at your disposal. Call them at 734-6969. Hey, don't forget, too, our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric offering rebates on qualified Lennox home comfort systems. And, of course, whether it's gas furnaces, air conditioners, heat pumps, whatever, you and your family will enjoy the comfort. Call them at 678-0459 and learn how Ramsey Heating and Electric can save you money on Lennox. Hey, my buddy Tim Vaughn, I'll tell you what, this is a good old boy and a great company at Precision Building. Right now is the time. Everybody, farmers, dairymen, etc., they've got the pre-engineered steel buildings, the Nucor, the Prime, the Sioux Cup, and believe me, long-lasting, maintenance-free. Look ahead to the winter and let them work for you in putting up those barns and those buildings. Call them at Precision Building, 431-7314. I'll repeat that number, 431-7314. Tim Vaughn and the professionals at Precision Building, and they want to work for you. Right now, let's go to the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce office right now. Lovely lady, and good morning, Kyla. How are you?
Good morning, Zeb. How are you doing this morning?
I am peachy.
That's wonderful. It's a beautiful day outside. I know a lot of folks are looking forward to a long weekend in some cases, and we have some very exciting things happening today with the Chamber of Commerce that we are just ecstatic to finally release to the community and to our business members and to folks, and that is that we're going to be unveiling our new promotional video as well as our new tiered membership structure today at lunchtime. So
now what about this?
Come out for that.
What about this video? What basically are you trying to tell the people when they see this video?
Well, first of all, it's a beautiful video. We worked with a gentleman here who's out of the Paul area named Bo Hopkins. They have Carly and Bo Photography, and they basically did a lot of drone footage for us. So you see these just wide panoramic views of this beautiful area that's within Minidoka and Cassia counties. And I think sometimes as locals or folks who have lived here, a long, long time, we just get so used to seeing the same stuff every day, and I think we kind of forget what a beautiful, beautiful area this is. A lot of times all you simply see is when you get off the interstate right there at the exit. And it's nice to say, oh my gosh, that's right, we do have 26 miles of accessible river here that you can easily get to.
Absolutely.
And there are mountains, and it is an ideal location. And it's just a video we hope the community will be real proud of. It's only about 2 minutes long, but we will be releasing it today to show folks and get their feedback, and then also put it on our website. And we've already had a few folks around town ask if they can share it on their websites, too, that have gotten a sneak peek of it. So we're real excited to show it to everyone.
Well, old Bo does a good job. As a matter of fact, I'm working with him on another project for the voiceover, so he's a good man for the job.
Yes, and he's a lot of fun to work with, and he was able to share our vision in terms of, just getting people outside of the box of what you're normally used to seeing, and just seeing some really beautiful stuff that we've got right here in Mini-Cassia. And then as for the rest of it, so we'll be at the Burley Best Western Inn and Convention Center. They just remodeled their convention center. It's gorgeous, so we're feeling very privileged that we get to unveil everything there today at noon. And if you are a chamber member, please come. If you're not a chamber member, you are also invited. If you would like to have lunch, lunch will be $12 per person. But we're just excited to see everyone. It's a beautiful fall day, so get out for lunch today and come see us.
Absolutely. I've only got about a minute or so left, but what else is cooking for the near future?
Well, we've decided to hold a community Christmas party this year, Zeb. And so we're going to be inviting folks over to the Chamber Office and Visitor Center here in Hebron on December 8th from 4 to 7. We've got some local entertainment, some groups, youth groups, etc., who will be performing throughout those hours, not consistently, but just in and out. And we just want folks to come and check out the Visitor Center. We have many beautiful made-in-Idaho products. A lot of folks are wondering, you've got relatives coming in for Thanksgiving and the holidays, and you don't know where to take them because you ran out of ideas. Bring them on down to the Visitor Center. We have lots of free information about the area, and we can give you tons of ideas of things to do here.
And naturally, you have a multiplicity of numbers and ways to contact the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce.
Absolutely. Give us a call at 679-4793, or you can always jump on our website, minicashiachamber.com.
There you go. Kyla, God bless. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Zeb. You take care.
All right. Thank you. Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce. Right now, we're going to go to the phone line, and I'm really anxious because this is in my wheelhouse this morning to talk about cattle and bull sales, etc. We're going to get on the line with a gentleman by the name of Josh Molson up at Parma. They're going to be having that Molson, Angus, and Hereford sale. Quality always comes first. Bull and female sale Saturday, November 20th. Starting at 1 p.m. Good morning, Josh. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fantastic. Okay, now we're going to be bragging, and it's not brag if it's a fact, and that's exactly what kind of a sale this is. It is quality, and we're going to be talking about a great big sale that you're going to be having again at the Molson, Angus, and Hereford Ranch. Give us a little background on where you are, how they get there, and what kind of cattle they're going to be looking at.
Well, we're in Parma, kind of in between Parma and Fruitland, Idaho, and we've got 100 head of bulls, 80 Angus, and 20 Hereford, and then 50 Angus females in the sale.
Wow. Now, these sound like really quality animals. Now, what about the day before? I understand that you're going to have something happening actually on the 19th. Give us a little background on what's going to take place.
We're going to have a junior fitting and showing clinic for it's free to all 4-H FFA members, junior Angus, or anybody that's interested. So it'll go through selection, feeding, fitting, nutrition, and then we're going to have a lunch for them there, and then we're going to have dinner later that night.
Oh, my goodness. And then on Saturday, November 20th, I understand you're going to start the festivities off with a great big tri-tip luncheon prior to the sale that starts at 1 p.m. on Saturday the 20th. Is that right?
Yes, we are.
And tell us a little bit about the quality of your cattle. I know, and you can tell about how careful and conscientious you folks are with the quality of your catalog that you have on these different bulls and females. Give us a little background on these bulls and the cattle that are going to be sold on the 20th.
Well, we have a very extensive AI and ET program. The bulls are the top 50%, sometimes even the top 40% of the calf crop. We will steer a lot of calves, so this is a quality set of bulls. We don't put them through here unless we believe in them. So these are all bulls that have never been offered for sale yet. They're all semen tested and have performance data, ultrasound data, and are ready to go to work.
Absolutely. You know what I like about this, and I got to tell you something, Josh. I've always been partial to the Hereford breed, and I like to see and read and hear about ranches that have Angus and Herefords both. What about the Hereford breed? Is it staging somewhat of a comeback?
Yes, it is. We use Hereford stuff on our commercial cattle, and that's how we got involved in the Hereford breed. Was on the commercial end first, and this set of Hereford bulls are all coming 2-year-old bulls that have never been offered for sale, and they have up-to-date modern EPDs and pedigrees.
Okay.
And a lot of people are looking for Hereford breed.
Okay.
Herefords to get those baldy females and some hybrid vigor and things.
All right. Now, what about the animals themselves at the sale after it's all over? Are they ready to rock and roll down the road to the next ranch? Are they ready?
Yep, they'll be ready to go.
They're all vaccinated and ready for shipment, right?
Yep, they'll be ready for shipment.
Now, tell everybody here, Josh, how do they find your ranch? Give us the easy directions on how to get there.
The easy directions is just off of Interstate 84, and you take the Fruitland exit, and we're just a mile or two off that, down Southwest 2nd, and then you come tee right into Elmore Road, and you come down until you see our sign.
All right. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to urge everybody to be there. On a kind of a personal note, I was looking at a picture of you and your family and your brother and your dad. You guys are some big boys. Did you have a lot of football in your past career?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
No, I can tell that, and I know doggone well that you look like you're a family that's really committed to the cattle business. How long has your family been doing this?
We've been doing this for 40 years.
40 years. Quality cattle, quality family, where the title, quality comes first, bull and female sale at the Molson Angus and Hereford sale up in Parma. And I'll tell everybody more about it starting next week. Josh, God bless you, man. I hope you have a great sale, and we'll be in touch.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Really nice people up there at the Molson, Angus, and Hereford sale, where it is true. Quality comes first. Bull and female sale November 20th at 1 p.m. at the ranch in Parma. That was Josh on the phone with us. And for more information, you can call them at 739, this is area code 208, 739-0725. Really good folks. I got to pay some bills here real quick. Don't forget our dear friends over at Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert, with Joel Heward, the manager, his family, his staff, all of them working for you and your family when there's the passing of a loved one. And they can travel to the rural towns and churches, too, to help you with all the arrangements, always with the highest ethical standards, with unquestioned integrity. They really will work for you. And I tell you what, folks, the number to call, and remember, and get the information on the pre-planning of funerals. That's something we all need to have. 436-5636. 436-5636. Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. Please contact them today. Oh, in just a moment, we're going to be getting all ready for Dog Nation. That's coming up in a little bit, and I want to remind you to look outside. I mean, just gaze out your window. It is beautiful. What a great weekend to jump on the four-wheelers and go to the hills. Oh, wait a minute. You don't have a four-wheeler? Well, I know the place to go. Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. They are having closeout prices right now on the 2016 four-wheelers and side-by-sides. What are you waiting for? Save money and get out there this weekend and have a lot of fun. Oh, yes. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 5. They've got a fantastic service department. They can fix anything. And all the accessories that you might need at Let's Ride. This is where the fun is sold. 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. Really good, folks. And, also over there, on that same road, Highway 24, you've got Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Just as you go into Rupert, right there on that little curve. Yes, sirree, Bobby, there they are. For the best of life insurance and health insurance and retirement planning and employee benefits. All of this and so much more by people that are dedicated and responsive to your needs. Call them today at 436-4424. Make an appointment, 436-4424. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Really good folks. I got to tell you that with all the political advertisements that we had over the last month, and you look at the log sheet that the political ads ended on Monday, I've got so many red zeros with a line in them after all of them have ended. Holy smokes, it looks like a great big huge checkerboard here this morning. And again, I want to thank everybody that took the time, the effort, and also their resources to advertise on this program during political season. Thank you very, very much. That meant a lot to my wife and myself. Thank you very much. I'm going to always say that I cut him short on time sometimes, but today I'm going to give him a little extra if he's available. Where in the world did all these dogs come from anyway? Holy cow.
Who let the dogs out?
Yep. There they are.
Who let the dogs out?
Running free. And trying to catch every one of them is Minidoka Animal Control. Ken Mort, good morning.
Good morning, Zeb. How are you today?
Well, like the caller said the first hour, buckle up, Buttercup.
There you go.
I love that. What's cooking?
Well, today we want to feature Ellie. She is a golden lab. She's approximately a year and a half old, is very friendly, well-mannered, good on a leash, knows a lot, or knows some basic commands, is good with other dogs, just a real sweetheart. I mean, you don't even have to actually put her on a leash. You just start walking and she walks right beside you. Real loving dog. She is looking for her forever home. So if anybody's interested in her, they can contact our facility at 438-2200. My cell phone at 670-7268. Or Deb Hines, Habron's Animal Control Officer at 670-4348.
Now tell me again, what kind of a dog was it?
She is a golden lab.
Oh.
And she is beautiful. I mean, just a real sweet.
You might get a call from my number. I am not kidding you. I love golden labs, and they are the kindest, friendliest eyed dogs and personalities. Oh, you might not. And you said she's good for a leash and everything?
Oh, yeah, she's great on a leash. I mean, you didn't even have to have her on a leash. She'll walk right next to you.
Yeah, but the thing is, guys on crutches can't use dogs on leashes because if they decide to go, the guy on the crutches isn't.
Well, you might, but without the crutches.
You can see the bottom of my Tony Llamas, I'll tell you that.
Exactly.
But, this dog sounds like a sweetheart.
She is, and she actually had a litter of pups about 3.5 months ago. So, I mean, she's was accidentally bred once. The gentleman and stuff in that owned her had to surrender her due to some personal issues and everything, and knew that we could find her a wonderful home. So,
oh my!
I mean, he was sad to see her go, but it's one of those where you got to do what you got to do.
That dog sounds like one in a million that would be excellent to just have as a friend.
She is. I mean, and she's got those eyes that when she looks at you, just melts your heart.
Oh, boy. I tell you what, my cell phone might be ringing. Okay.
Well, you better make sure a Household 6 doesn't have a problem with it first.
The who?
Household 6.
Household 6. What's that?
That'd be your wife.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about her. Okay.
That military, that's one of the military terms we use for our spouses and stuff, and that household six. She's the commander-in-chief of the house.
Well, now, you're entering a very, very insecure zone there, my friend. What else you got cooking?
Well, we've still got our shoe drive going on. Anybody that's got some slightly worn or used or new shoes that they don't need anymore, they can take them to several locations we have around the area. Like Hruza Insurance in Rupert, Cal Ranch in Burley, Ace Hardware in Burley, IBF in Burley, D.L. Evans Bank there next to Walmart in Burley. Also, Valleywide Co-op in Rupert, Ridley's in Rupert, Rupert City Hall, St. Nicholas Catholic School, Minidoka Memorial Hospital, Wayside Cafe, City of Rupert, not City of Rupert, but City of Hayburn, Ark Animal Hospital, and Animal Medical Clinic, also Rupert Animal Hospital, and then in Hagerman, Shoshone, and Gooding, they can take it to the Ace Hardwares there, and also one of the radio stations over in Twin Falls. I can't think of the name of the radio station right now.
I didn't know Twin Falls had a radio station. Let's just leave it go at that.
That works, but they're collecting over there as well for us, and plus at our facility, if you got any and you want to swing into our facility and drop them off, we're accepting them there. We are always accepting bedding, along with towels, leashes, collars, anything at dog food, anything to make the animals stay at our facility a lot more comfortable. Anything helps out. We still do cash donations and stuff, and accept cash donations to help with things. Also, we are putting together. Matter of fact, we got Gina Jameson, who is heading it up with us. We are going to be doing in February on the 9th a Dessert for Dogs event, where we are going to have a dessert competition for the public and that want to enter, and also for businesses that are wanting to enter that think they can make the best dessert in the Minnecaja area. We'll be getting that information out here within the next week or so. So keep your eyes out for that. It's going to be a great event. That we're going to be using it to help with a lot of our vet expenses and spay and neuter programs and stuff like that as well.
You need a judge.
Actually, we are for the individuals. We're going to have the mayors do the judging for Minidoka County, and then for the business people and stuff that enter, they will be judged by the actual public. Anybody who purchases a ticket will get admitted, and then they'll turn around and they'll go through, sample all the desserts, and pick their favorite desserts in each category.
Holy cow. I should have been notified on this. My feelings are hurt because I think that being that I'm a food expert, I should have been asked about this.
Well, you're more than welcome to come. If you get with Gina, she's got a lot more of the information that we're still trying to get put together and get out. We're actually going to be doing corporate sponsorships for the event as well. So here within probably the next week or two, we will have all that out and get it all publicized and start running full bore with it and going from there.
All right. Well, doggone, it sounds like you got a lot of good things going. Now, what was that golden retriever? Is it a retriever or a lab?
It was a golden lab.
Lab. What's her name again?
Her name is Ellie.
Ellie, like in the, what was the name of that comedy show back in the 60s?
Ellie Mae.
Ellie Mae.
With the Clampets?
Yes, the Clampets.
Beverly Hillbillies.
Oh, yeah. Went to shooting at the ground and up come a bubbling crude. I remember that. Yeah, there you go. Well, you might get a call. You might get a call from me on Ellie. I think that sounds like a really good dog.
She'd be a great dog for you.
All right, buddy. Take care of yourself. Where'd all these dogs come from anyway? Ken Mort, Minidoka Animal Control. Oh, my I tell you what, I love that. I love that. They're very good. Ken, appreciate it. By the way, I mentioned earlier about my friend Tim Vaughn at Precision Building. This is a man that really cares. This is a company that really gets things done. Attention, dairymen, if you're thinking about remodeling or building new structures now, right now is the time to get a hold of Streamline Precision. They specialize in dairy parlors, free stalls, commodity storage facilities, maternity barns. All you have to do is call Tim at 431-7314. For your no-cost analysis and design, these people are the best. I'm telling you, I've worked with them in the past. They know what they're doing, and they can help you. Call Tim Vaughn today. Good guy. That number again, 431-7314. Precision Building. They are the professionals working for you. Absolutely. Okay, let's see. I got that done. I've got that done. Well, my goodness, it's time. The door opens up and enters stage right. Here's the lovely Rita Ramsey. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
I am a lot better than I was last Thursday because I feel like a lot of cement weights have been taken off my shoulders, and maybe there's a lot of hope for America left.
Well, it definitely is uplifting to know that the lady in the the pantsuit won't be our president.
Oh, you can be so snide.
Snarky, yeah, that's okay.
Oh, yes. You know, a couple things happen, Rita. I know you don't like Donald Trump. I know that he's got a lot of rattlesnakes in his basement, but I will say this. I thought his acceptance speech, I thought the way he's handled himself the last 2 weeks leading up to the election were absolutely presidential, and I really have a higher regard.
Well, if what he has been saying can actually come to fruition, it will definitely be healing among this nation. And we have been divided for the last 8 years by the commander-in-chief.
Yeah.
And it has just got really, really bad to where we just have such a big divide that it's going to be hard. But the main thing is that we need to come together as Americans and make America great again, like Donald Trump said, by bringing people together and letting people know that we're not racist and we just want to have our country and our freedom and be able to work and live and not have the government interfering in our lives every day.
Okay, but now wait a minute. I'm going to pin you down on this, and I'm not just picking on you, but it's something that needs to be defined. I said first hour, and I'm going to stand behind this, that his followers that got him elected are depending on his policies to be implemented. If he starts to capitulate, if he starts to bend, if he starts to weaken in favor of the left, in the first 30 days of his presidency, he will be toast. He's got to remain firm on the promises that he made.
Well, that's absolutely true, and there is going to be some people who will take advantage of the situation and say, okay, now we can move forward. One of them is Senator Rand Paul, who was interviewed this morning, said, you know, I have a prediction to make, and I think we're going to spend the first month passing the repeal of Obama regulations. They will be signed by Trump, and I think there will be a half a dozen regulations repealed in the first week of Congress. And this is something I'm excited to do. And so we're going to have some congressmen and some senators like this who will be saying, okay, let's go forward and do what we said we were going to do. However, there are going to be some, just like Mitch McConnell was interviewed yesterday, and one of the reporters asked him, so are you going to let term limits come to the Senate and vote on it? And he had a resounding no.
You see,
and that was one thing that Trump said that he was in favor of.
I agree.
Term limits.
I agree.
He thought that it would be good to bring it about. Well, there are people that are going to be working against it, and so we as Americans are going to have to hold our legislators, whether they're Congress, whether they're the Senate, whether there are Idaho legislators, representatives, and senators, or whoever they are, let them know that we're still keeping track of what's going on. We're interested in less regulation, less governing, and let us live our lives and do what we do to make a living, and let the government just do what they're supposed to do, which is protect us, and that's it.
Rita, it wasn't that long ago that we were on this program, and I remember vividly that the Republicans had a chance to really do some good, and you and I both have talked about this in many, many programs. They blew their opportunity because of laziness, slovenliness, and not caring. This is an opportunity. This is an opportunity to put America back on the right path, whether it's energy, whether it's on Obamacare to get rid of that, whether it's on our economy. It doesn't make any difference. This is a golden opportunity. But if they weaken and they don't do their job, whether it's Crapo or Simpson or Labrador or whomever, I don't care, or any state's representatives, we have got to absolutely hold a pitchfork up in the air and say, we're coming after you. How do we go about getting the idea through to them that they doggone sure are in trouble if they don't follow through?
Well, if we do what politicians expect that we'll do, is now that the election's over, everybody puts their guard down and goes about their business, instead of saying, okay, we're going to watch you and we're going to watch you close, and if you step out of line or if you don't get into line like you need to be, we're going to let you know, and we're going to come down on you, just like you mentioned, whether it's our pitchforks or what. We're going to come and we're going to expect you to do what needs to be done there. They're hoping that we will sit back on our laurels and just do nothing. I think I've shared this with your audience before, but I read a comment, and it says this: tyranny is a result of indifference, passiveness, and ignorance. And so when we are indifferent and we're just sitting along passively, and it's like, oh, well, I don't really know what's going on anyway, that is when the government becomes tyrannical, and that's when they take over and start doing what they want to do, and to heck with what the American public thinks. And that's where we've been for the last probably 25, 30 years. And people have got to start paying attention and not letting their laurels down now just because we have a change of parties going to be in the White House.
Now, we have, as of today, 69 days left of Barack Obama. I am absolutely thinking about putting together a goodbye Barack party someplace here in Magic Valley. I cannot wait for that 69th day to be done. But I am afraid that this man is still going to pick up a pen and get us in more trouble. What are your thoughts?
Oh, there's no doubt about that. He has been signing documents these last couple of months, and it will just be sped up even more so the next 2 months. And what's going to happen is he is going to probably let prisoners out. He's going to let people off the hook for crimes committed. I think that it was very telling when this article came out. It said the day following Donald Trump's presidential victory, the White House wouldn't rule out the possibility of extending a presidential pardon to former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton to protect her from any prosecution by President-elect Donald Trump. So they have said, we're probably going to offer that.
How can you...
Ernest said, the president has offered a clemency to a substantial number of Americans who were previously serving time in federal prisons. Yeah. I want to know why they were in federal prisons.
Yeah. How can they, being Obama and his administration, offer a potential pardon when, like Doug Martin and I were talking about this first hour on the air, there hasn't been a criminal trial, there hasn't been a felonious hearing as far as, yes, you are guilty by a jury of her peers. How can you grant or offer a pardon when those illegalities haven't been confirmed?
That very question came up yesterday afternoon late on a radio show that I listened to, who is an attorney, and he was in the Justice Department, and he said there is a law that says that you can grant clemency to people who haven't been charged, and what it basically says is you will have any kind of exemption from this particular circumstance or charge should it come up in the future.
Oh, my.
So there is something there, and that is sad.
It's terrible. It needs to be revoked. I want to talk to you a little bit, and I know that you have children. We have kids that are grown adults right now, and they have families. What is the matter with our society that we have a nation of a lot of crybabies that are in college, 19, 20, 21, 22-year-old students? Oh, Rita, they're so upset over this election that they're sitting on curbs and they're crying and they're begging not to go to class because they need free therapy and chocolate, hot chocolate, and free passes to skip class. Oh, they're so distraught. What are your thoughts about this?
Well, it's too bad that there aren't some parents being parents, because if that was one of my kids, they'd be up off the curb, they'd be out of school, and they'd be doing hard labor at home around the house until they got their act together. Actually, I guess that's probably why I didn't ever have to worry about that, because my kids knew what was expected of them, and they towed the line. And they got their degrees, and they went to work, and they worked hard, and they've been on their own now for... My youngest daughter's been out of the house for 15 years, and so they're taking care of themselves, and they're living productive lives and raising their kids. You have to be a parent. It makes me so irritated to see these kids acting that way when I think, you know what, their parents are probably not caring one bit that they're doing this, because I think that you would find the majority of the kids who are in school, that their parents have rules and expectations, and they have to go by them in order to stay where they're at.
Absolutely. We have a caller with a question. Go ahead, caller, quickly. You're on the air.
I don't really have a question. I agree with her completely, and I find it really funny that I don't think we're tolerating it. I think we haven't had time to put a stop to it yet, because we can't get there for 60-some days.
All right.
The nation has come together as an amazing place right now, and it's just a matter of time before they get what they deserve, and they get to go back to work, and they get their little butt paddle to get out of the fetal position.
I like that. I love that, lady. Thank you very much. Rita, respond to her, please.
Oh, absolutely. It's just like I said, if they were my kids, they wouldn't be sitting on that curb. They'd be led back home by their ear, and they'd be working, doing hard labor around the house or around our family business. That's what they'd be doing, and that's because I take parenting seriously. I just wish that there were a lot of other people that did.
You know, Rita, honestly, the give everybody a trophy, everybody's a world's champion, everybody's the same, let's all sing Kumbaya together, this might be coming to an end, hopefully, if this administration does and acts in the manner that they projected during the election time.
Well, there's going to have to be a lot of changes, and that is something that this administration could be influential in. I see that there's not going to be a lot of things that Trump is going to be doing on his own. There's going to have to be a concerted effort, and it's going to have to come from we the people. We've got to be active in it. We've got to remind them of the promises that were made and hold their feet to the fire. We've got to question why they vote on something one way or the other. And if we aren't invested in it, they'll just roll right over us like they've done the last 40 or 50 years, and it's not going to matter one bit or the other. They'll do what they want, and they don't have to answer to anybody. So it's our responsibility as citizens to hold their feet to the fire.
And I am sure, knowing you like I have for many, many years, that you are so concerned and you are so distraught that we may lose Samuel L. Jackson. We may lose the likes of Whoopi Goldberg. We may lose Justin Timberlake. We may lose Al Sharpton because they promised that if Trump was elected, they'd leave the country. Oh, I'll bet you're in a state of total disarray.
Actually, I think if they want to go, that would be just wonderful. We ought to have a big send-off for them. Let them go, let them stay away, and they'll find out that they'll be sneaking back here as fast as they can, because wherever they go, they're going to have oppression. They're not going to have rights and liberty. And once they start shooting off their mouths, some of them are going to end up in prisons for saying what they say. So I say let's have a big send-off for them and send them on their way. That would be just fine with me.
I couldn't agree more. Real quick, before I do the weather, I'd like you to talk about, this is complete insanity to me. I saw a marching and protesting group of illegal aliens illegal meaning they shouldn't have been here in the first place, and alien, they're not citizens of this country, and they're threatening President-elect Trump, saying that they're going to stay here regardless of what we want them to do, and they're going to continue to get our welfare money. This is insanity.
Well, it really is, and I think that it was quite interesting that the day before the election, and nothing had been said anywhere, is there was something like it was almost 80% of Hispanics who were here legally, whether they were born here, whether they came here and gained citizenship or whatever, that were totally opposed to illegal immigration and letting people come in here and just stay. And you know, the news media wouldn't bring any of that up just prior to the elections because they didn't want it to sound like that, well, your fellow Hispanics are the ones who aren't doing it. So the thing of it is most people who have come here don't want people to just come in across the border at any time and start taking whatever they want and living off of any of the benefits and stuff that they can conjure up. People, for the majority, want immigrants to come in here and come in here legally, be part of the system, do it right. We don't want the illegal stuff. And so you don't hear a lot of the regular people talking about it, but I think the majority of Americans really just want people, if they're going to come in here, to come legally.
We're going to have more with Rita Ramsey in just a moment. I've got to get a weather forecast here on the air with Pope Phillips Oaks Goodwin and Company CPAs as the sponsor of our weather. They've been providing accounting services to the Mini-Cash area for well over 50 years. The very best of tax return preparation, tax planning, business consulting, bookkeeping services, and so much more. 2 locations to serve you, 1710 Overland Avenue in Burley and 625th Street in Rupert. Pope Phillips Oaks Goodwin and Company CPAs. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Here's your weather forecast as we saddle up and ride again on this Thursday, November 10th, and it is going to be a beautiful day and getting even better as we work closer towards the weekend. Sunny skies and 67 is what we're looking at. Overnight low of 43. Tomorrow, maybe 70, just depending on where you're at. Sunny skies and 68 is the actual temperature. Overnight low of 44. And then for the weekend, more clouds are going to be moving in, but still unseasonably warm. Looks like highs in the low to mid-60s, and lows are going to be in the low 40s. That is your weather for 7th Ranch.
Woo, and boy, she was a booming in there this morning. Thank you, Pope Phillips, Oaks Goodwin and Company CPAs. Curtis Pope, Todd Phillips, Rob Oaks, Mitch Goodwin, and Lyden Crane. The very best serving you. Don't forget, tax time's around the corner. Get a hold of the best. Pope Phillips, Oaks Goodwin and Company. Rita, I got to ask you a little bit about the media. I'm a little prejudicial about who I thought did a good and a very poor job during the election process in this country, and I'd like to hear your thoughts about a media that this morning and since the election actually has had their faces covered with egg because they really messed up.
Well, I think the majority of the news media in the main, and Fox is included in those, have a lot of backtracking to do. It's really sad. I mean, they're still questioning. I can't believe how that happened. Glenn said this morning he switched over to CNN just to see what they were saying, and whoever it was that was talking said, well, I didn't vote for Trump. Did anybody in here vote for Trump? We still can't figure out how that happened. There must be something wrong there, and they were trying to put blame on fraudulence or anything else. It just couldn't have happened because they didn't, and yet they wouldn't predict it. I thought it was quite telling that you would have polls that were showing that Hillary was up and saying that she was up as far as she was, when one of the polls that I heard was like a 3%, and it's like, you know what, that's a margin of error. That was the only one that could be even remotely close. So I think the majority of them did have slap in the face like, you don't know what you're talking about, and the same with the pollsters.
Well, the newspapers like the New York Times and many others, and yes, much of the media, but there were bright spots. there was honest reporting, there was fair reporting at various locations around the dial. But in general, the media was swayed and kowtowed into hating and distorting stories against Trump. But you know something, and I agree with this synopsis of a good friend of mine that was on the air the other day, and I tried to get a hold of her and talk to her, but not a chance of getting through yesterday. The comment was made that even with all the distorted radio and TV and newspaper print about Trump and the stories that were negative from the get-go, Trump really thrived on that, and it irked his followers so that the voter turnout was even stronger.
Well, I think that's true, but I also think that there are a lot of people that said, you know, I might have a D behind my name or I've leaned liberal before, but I'm not going to let Hillary get in there, and so they went and voted on the opposite side. It's really sad when you can't get something straight, but I guess it was just one of those surprise things that they didn't think that the silent majority would come out and stay silent. I think they found out that they're silent no longer, and we're ready for a change, and we want some things to be done to keep America sovereign and free.
I've only got time for one more subject, and I'm going to say this. I'll take climate change as an example, and the uneducated theorists and their liberal snobbishness and the discard, throwaway attitude they've had, their stupidity once and for all over climate change. I think we're going to be seeing the beginning of the end of climate change and control of our lives through energy, and I certainly hope that Trump and his administration, I'm waiting to see who he's going to get as an energy czar. I hope that we fight back on this complete insanity called climate change.
Well, we definitely need to, and the way that it ends is if you start cutting off the federal grants to all of these people who were saying, oh, we know that these cows are the ones that's causing the ozone layer. Oh, well, wait a minute. No, the ozone layer isn't gone. And they just keep teetering back and forth. And all it is about is if they say the right thing, they can get more federal money. And that money has been absolutely just as plentiful as could be to those kind of people from this last administration. And so if you'll start cutting off the money, and hopefully the Trump people will, and we can get on with our lives and putting money where it needs to be and let those people do their own stuff. If they were on their own dollar, they wouldn't be there for very long. You know that.
I absolutely agree with you. Overall, and I'll go back to what we started talking about, the protests in over 27 major United States cities, the rioting and the stopping of traffic and the, just honestly, the liberal left acting as usual like spoiled little garbage pails. This has got to stop. And they can act in an illegal fashion. They get away with it. It just burns me up, Rita.
Well, if the news media will quit paying attention to them and giving them airtime and taking pictures of them and posting it, nationwide, they'll say, well, nobody's paying attention to me. I guess I better get on and do my regular stuff. So I think we just need to ignore them. They're just spoiled little brats having a temper tantrum, and let them do it as long as they want, and we'll quit watching them.
Okay, well, real quick, what's happening now since the election regarding the Tea Party?
Well, being it's only been a couple of days, we have a Tea Party meeting tonight. We'll talk about that. Like I said, people need to still be engaged and find out what's going on and keep track of their representatives and keep hollering at them. We've got a big thing coming in January on the steps of the State House in Boise to get rid of Common Core. We've had several representatives who have totally tabled any of the information, any of the bills that were written about getting rid of Common Core because they just keep pulling their fingers together like, we just want more money, and we don't care if we've sold out our students. So we're going to be protesting that. It doesn't matter who the president is. We're still protesting it because our legislators can get rid of it if they want to.
Yep, I agree. Rita, thank you so much for a very interesting program. Great job. Rita Ramsey being on the program every Thursday. God bless, Rita. Thanks so much.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
You betcha. Oh, I love having her on my program. Straight shooter, tells it like it is, and I do appreciate it. You know what? I got to look up here at the clock, and it's time for Starving to Death. I am so hungry right now, but I know some great places to go if you're hungry and starving to death. Let's start with the AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley, with a pumpkin shake or a marshmallow shake or a black raspberry shake, along with a chicken fried steak sandwich. Oh, and those delicious fries and the sauce. All of that at the AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. Well, let's move over to Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley, with the new pork burrito with beans, pork, rice, sour cream, and cheese. So good, so good. With a dessert pumpkin empanada, just like Granny used to make. Oh, my goodness, you're going to love the food. All the menu choices at Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. Now to Burgers, Etc., 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 Overland in Burley. Do you know that at Burgers, Etc., you can get corn dogs and burritos only 99 cents after 3 p.m.? And soup is here. They've got a different flavor Monday through Friday, bread bowl soup. It is delicious, or in a cup. You're going to love the food at Burgers, Etc., 2 locations, 124 South Oneida in Rupert and, of course, 700 Overland in Burley. Well, we just move right now to Steve-O's at 290 South, 600 west of Heyburn. Food made the way you love it. Buffalo burgers made with real buffalo, and soups, delicious soups, and they've got new desserts over there. Oh, my goodness, nice people. Got a kids menu, too. You're going to love the food. You're going to love the service at Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 west of Heyburn. And last but not least, Pooter's Pizza. I love saying that. Pooter's Pizza at 725 Minidoka Avenue in Burley. Freshest ingredients for their pizza at Pooter's Pizza. And they also have the great big huge hand-pressed burgers and delicious oven-baked sandwiches. You're going to love it. They deliver within a 10-mile radius, too. So don't forget, book your holiday party now at Pooter's Pizza inside the Snake River Bowl at 725 Minidoka Avenue in Burley. And those are just a few great places to go when you're hungry and starving to death. Here's what we've got coming up this next hour. We've got Cassia County School Days. Linda Peterson is going to be on the show. Then we've got our business salute with Nick over at Burley Physical Therapy. Then at 10:30, very special half hour in commemoration and celebration of Veterans Day, which is tomorrow. We're going to have Mike and Georgia Greenwell, and I believe Larry Cottom's going to be here too. So on honor of a program that I'm looking forward to salute our veterans. All of that coming up on Zeb at the Ranch. Right now, we're going to turn it over to our dear friend Wheels to take us to CBS News. Stay tuned. We've got another hour to go. Okay, here we go. My goodness sakes, hour number 3, Zeb at the Ranch, and I can't emphasize enough what a beautiful day it is outside today, and the weather forecast calling for this tomorrow, and temperatures should be very nice and warm through the weekend. Gonna be great, Caller, I'll be right there. Stand by. Zeb at the Ranch, brought to you by, of course, our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, and, of course, some of our great advertisers like Western Waste Services, always at your disposal. Call them at 734-6969. Caller, stand by. I'll be right there. A quick reminder, Ramsey Heating and Electric offering rebates on qualified Lennox home comfort systems. Whether it's a gas furnace, air conditioner, or a heat pump, you and your family will enjoy the comfort. Call 678-0459 and learn how Ramsey Heating and Electric and Lennox can save you money. Wheels, check the volume on there. Make sure we're not going into the red too much. It sounds like everything, the music and everything's really hot. Check that for me, please. And caller, quickly, before I go to my next segment, what's on your mind?
Yes, you know, these demonstrators ought to adhere to the advice of a very wise woman. Get over it. What difference does it make?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. A lot of this garbage, and that's what it is. These people that are going to tie up traffic. I heard of a story where an ambulance was trying to get through. There was a man that had suffered a heart attack last night, and they were blocking traffic. Boy, I tell you, Tony, I have no sympathy for these people. Just start the engine and roll on through, because these people should never hinder anyone from trying to get to their jobs or emergency vehicles trying to tend to people that are ailing.
Well, I guess the Hollywood bunch is still doing their job behind the scenes, agitating these people.
I'm afraid you're very right, my friend. God bless you and Mary. Thank you very much for your call. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye.
You know, and I heard that story about these, and they're punks, they're troublemakers, you know, they're trying to stop traffic on bridges. And then there was a story I heard, I don't have it right in front of me right now, but a man had a heart attack and they need to get him to the hospital. And these absolutely worthless people, these leftist loons, were blocking traffic and wouldn't let the ambulance through. Come on, give me a break. Drive on. Drive on. Right now, it is time that we're going to be talking about a very, very good program in just a minute, Cassia County School Days, but I also want to urge you to remember that Precision Building and my dear friend Tim Vaughn. Oh my, I'll tell you, old Tim and the crew, they are ready to work for you, putting up the pre-engineered steel buildings, whether it's with Nucor, Prime, or Sukup, and believe me, you're going to thank yourself for taking the time and effort to call Tim and get all the information from Precision Building. The number to call, 431-7314. Tim Vaughn and his crew ready to go to work for you right now for all the farms, the dairies, etc. You want to think of remodeling and building a new structure, you get a hold of Streamline Precision. These are the pros. Precision Building, absolutely the best at Streamline Precision. Call them at 431-7314. Absolutely, Tim Vaughn, they're the best. Ladies and gentlemen, right now, I want to remind you that it's Cassia County School Days. And Cassia County School Days brought to you by two great sponsors. Number one, A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley. And, of course, Ambulatory Surgery Center. Now, at A Child's World, they've got all the toys, the family games, the books, the puzzles. And believe me, they've got all the Cherokee scrubs, the shoes. Everything in the store is for families. Stop in and enjoy shopping at a store that really appreciates your business. A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley. And, of course, Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland Avenue in Burley. For your outpatient surgeries, sinus surgeries, knee or hand pain surgeries, colonoscopies, believe me, they can help you and save you money. So please call the number today, 677-8888. Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland in Burley, and A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley, bringing you School Days in Cassia County. And with us is a lovely lady, and she is a member of the Minnecasia Child Protection Team. She's going to tell us all about that. Linda Peterson, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm absolutely fantastic. I mean, Linda, look outside. You don't have to go far to realize we live in such a beautiful area, and what a fantastic fall.
It is. It's been fantastic, and I'm up in Boise at the State School Board Convention.
Well, it's really good to have you on the air then this morning. Now, I mentioned that you're a member of the Minnecasia Child Protection Team. Give us a little background on what that is and what it does.
That's an organization of volunteers that I've been a member for about 25 years. But before I moved to Burley, it had been going for another 5 or 10 years. And it's people from just all walks of life in the two counties who care very much about children, that they are safe. And I guess our mission is to help prevent abuse and neglect of children in our area.
You know, you have been an advocate for children's policies for a long, long time, and I have nothing but the highest respect for what you've done in this area. And now you're saying that there is a new drug coming in that is trying to encroach upon our children. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, the first time I heard about this was a few years ago. My daughter works at the State Department, and she told me about this Fight the New Drug campaign that pornography was having such an effect on people in many areas of their life. It changes your brain, it changes relationships with people, and it also contributes to a lot of the problems we have of abuse and sex trafficking with children. I know in talking to the Sheriff's Department a few years ago, they said there's hardly a time when they don't go into one of our area homes on some kind of investigation of crimes that have been committed, that pornography is not already in that home.
Wow. Okay, but how can your organization, the Minnecasia Child Protection Team, what can they do? What can we do? What is being done?
Well, the best tool that all of us have is study and education of any situation. And so that's what we hope to provide for the area people and parents, grandparents, just citizens, students, is bringing some information. And then when we have some tools, then we can better assess what we can do in our own home and in our own lives. And so we are sponsoring an event this next week on Monday and Tuesday. Monday night, we are providing a free community meeting. It's called Fight the New Drug, and it will basically give us some information of what it does to our brains, but what also it help us, especially the older generation, to understand all the social media and websites that children and young adults are going to nowadays. And people can make their own choices how they choose to have pornography in their lives. But I think it's important for us to see what the real facts are and situations that it provides in our lives.
Linda, is there, even today, with all the so-called progressive ideas and technologies on keeping up on things, computers, the iPads, the various means and methods to follow how things are going in the world, is there still a generational gap of education and knowing what the younger kids are exposed to?
You know, even just over the weekend, I was talking with some young people, and for example, on Instagram, someone over at the high school set up an Instagram account. It roasts people. Well, you know, when you roast somebody, it's not usually saying good things about them. It's really tearing them up, and you can do that in a moment. You choose somebody, and everybody sort of piles on electronically. And then over the junior high, there's a little little Instagram account, and it matches girls and boys up. Things that have been going on, I'm sure, for years, but it just spreads it, you know, and as many people as want to join in can join in. So there's just all those things that people are not aware of, that it's in our young people's lives. And I think, you know, it's hard enough to be 13 years old or 17 years old, but then you add this added dimension that's there, and I think we just need to be so aware and not naive to that.
You know, are there, and I'm going to show a little naivete here as far as watching and following these various movements, but are there more social pressures today than when there were kids like me and you in school? I mean, have things really changed that drastically?
I think it's changed because now, you know, we all have our faults, but, you know, now they're amplified. Now the insecurity of kids are amplified. And then you add on this dimension of things that are maybe really inappropriate that can be viewed in just, you can view it in a click, and you don't even have, maybe you've done it. One time I was at our local store, and I just clicked on something, and all of a sudden, something that just jumps right out at you. You can be innocently presented with these kind of images. And it's said that the first time a young person exposed to hardcore pornography is 9 years old.
Wow.
That's pretty sobering.
Wow. Well, your organization is comprised as a child protection team. What do? Do you go into the various schools within Cassia County? Do you present different programs? Do you make the teachers and the administration aware, and also the parents? Give us a little synopsis as to how you're helping fight this problem.
Well, this problem, but before that, I've been doing presentations in school for about 25 years. The first one I started, we use life-size puppets, and it is to fight sexual and physical abuse and gives children the tools they need to get some help. And then about, I guess, 12 years ago, bullying became such a big problem. And so we bought additional puppets and research scripts. And so going into the schools, and I've given these presentations to small groups, adult groups too, to help them be able to fight bullying situations and to be able to help. But now we know that pornography is also such a harmful thing to young people, and children are not viewed as wonderful treasures anymore. Some people just truly, they view them online in horrible situations, and it becomes addictive to people. And so we thought this was one way we could help prevent some child abuse and help with the safety of our children. And so that's why we chose to bring this program into our community.
Let me ask.
We appreciate the 2 school districts being willing to come with us on this advocacy of education. And so all the students from 6th grade through 12th grade will be able to see the presentations, age appropriate. We would never deem to bring in, if you're against pornography, I don't know why some people think you would show pornography. That's not what this is about at all. But just helping people realize physically the addiction that people can suffer. They say it really changes your brain just like being addicted to drugs. And it takes about 9 months to get, and longer, to be able to get your brain back to where it needs to be so that this isn't dominating your life.
Linda, last question real fast. Is this a program through your Minnecasia Child Protection Team that you would like to see go statewide with all school districts in the state of Idaho?
Well, I know that this group that's coming to us, they have presented, there's a big prevention convention, and they have done that in Sun Valley every year. And I know people have seen the program, and so we hope that maybe people from other areas will come. I'm going to invite them now that I'm at the State School Board Convention to come and see the presentation, and that might be helpful, that other districts might want to present this information to their communities. It would be a good thing.
I want to thank you for taking the time to come on our program. The lovely Linda Peterson, member of the Minnecasia Child Protection Team. And, of course, Linda, God bless. Anytime you want to come back on the program and discuss this, please let us know.
Thanks for taking the time, and hope people will come Monday night free to the King Fine Arts Center. Give us an hour to help get some information out.
Very good. Thank you again.
Thank you.
And, of course, Linda Peterson, an excellent lady working for and with the Minnecasia school system. Thank you very much. And brought to you by 2 great businesses, A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley and the Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland in Burley, 677-8888. Once again, I want to remind you good folks about Streamline Precision. Oh, my goodness sakes. I am really, really high on these folks. Tim Vaughn and the crew, they get the job done right. Pre-engineered steel buildings, new core, prime, Sukup. And believe me, right now, Dairyman, if you need something built, call Streamline Precision. They specialize in demolition and replacement of concrete feed lanes, excavations of new feed pens, gates, and shade covers. Now's the time. Now is the time to get lined up. They can get it done, so it's ready to go in the spring. You better believe it. Streamline Precision Buildings. You call them at 431-7314. Tim Vaughn, the man in charge, he can help you. Give him a call today, 431-7314. Right now, we're going to go to the phone lines, and with us on the program this morning is the guy that makes me groan and go, oh, over at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, and everything I've done over there has really helped me get back to being me. Nick Greenwell, physical therapist, and heads up the crew at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Good morning, Nick.
Zeb, how are you?
I am, I'm going to say I'm fantastic, but, I've had a little bit of a wreck this week, and so I haven't been getting around as much as I wanted to. Audience, for those of you listening, I took a little bit of a spill and kind of backed up myself a little bit on physical therapy this week because I haven't been able to walk around too much. I'm looking forward to getting started and back in the saddle over there at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, getting back in that hydrotherapy pool. Nick, everything you guys have have done for me, and ladies, has been absolutely first class. You know what you're doing in helping people. Explain a little bit about some of the services over there.
Well, I only wish that we could make you better looking, Zeb. That's really my biggest issue right now is if we could make you more attractive, I'd be really happy about the service very collectively.
You know, I brag on you, and I tell everybody Nick and his crew are the best, and then right away I get a zinger.
I'm super happy with our staff over here. We've been together a long time. We've been here going on 18 years now, and being able to provide a pretty comprehensive service for the community here. Very rewarding, a lot of fun. I love my job. And yeah, we do a little bit of everything. Being in a small community, you kind of treat what walks through the door. But we really pride ourselves on doing a lot of orthopedic work. We do both preoperative and postoperative stuff. We're kind of getting into that season right now, too, where we are getting ready to see lots of total knee replacements, lots of total hips, back surgeries, rotator cuff repairs, all that lovely stuff that our agricultural folks have done in the winter when they have a little bit of time to recuperate. So we're kind of getting geared up for that. We do have an in-house aquatic therapy center here with our HydroWorks pool that we use day in and day out, every hour of the day. You know much about that.
Yes.
So we see a very broad variety of folks in the pool, from pediatric conditions like cerebral palsy, all the way up through our elderly folks with arthritis. We do a lot of manual therapy in the clinic, some neuro stuff, some balance stuff. Like I say, we do a little bit of everything here, and we're super excited to continue to provide those services here in the community.
The only thing I didn't care for over there one day is when you went to the door after I was in the pool and you yelled at everybody and said, "Come quick, the great white whale Moby Dick is caught."
We like to have a little bit of fun as well, so you're lucky I just haven't thrown a big old bucket of ice in there one day.
Nick, I got to tell you, what's the easiest way? I know I found it very easy to get involved over there with my physical therapy, but what do they have to do? Do they have to have some kind of a doctor's report, or do they just walk in or give you a call? Tell us about that.
You know, kind of any and all of the above. Obviously, the easiest way and the way that most insurance companies prefer it is through physician referral, and we see patients referred from a wide variety of physicians or chiropractors, nurse practitioners, PAs, even dentists can refer clients over for physical therapy for one reason or another. And so again, that's the easiest way is through physician referral. But Idaho is a direct access state, so you don't actually have to have a prescription to get some physical therapy. And a lot of times folks will just come in and say, you know what, I'm having a little bit of an issue with my shoulder, or I tweaked my low back, or whatever. And we can take a quick peek and do an assessment. And we can also facilitate getting those orders from your referring provider if that's what your insurance company requires, to kind of make it easier on your pocketbook.
Well, you know, I've used the tagline, and I'm really serious when I say this, helping you get back to being you. It may take a little effort, it may take a little strain, and quite frankly, maybe a little pain, but all of that's going for the betterment of getting you healed up and getting back to being yourself. And that's where you folks really excel.
Yeah, we pride ourselves on that. Really, the long-term goal of any kind of a course of treatment or a therapy prescription here is exactly that. And everybody has different goals there, whether it's getting back onto the basketball court, being in high school, or being able to enjoy spending a little more active time with your grandkids. That's something that we really pride ourselves on, and something that we discuss with each of our clients as they first come in, to kind of figure out what our goals are and how we can just make life more enjoyable and more functional for each individual.
You know, I got to hand it to you the way you do things. And by the way, Wheels over at the station, cut back on the feedback just a little bit, please. I've got to hand it to you. You're very, very thorough in making sure the program that you set up is the most beneficial for exercising the particular limb that they're having trouble with. You are excellent.
Well, there's no cookbook approach, and everybody has a very different. Like I say, they all have different goals, and you can't treat everything the same. You know, even if you've got two people side by side that have total knee replacements, everybody's very individual, and so we try our very best to try and customize each program for each individual to get their, the most optimal outcome.
Nick, real quick, give everybody the best way to find your place and the hours that you're open.
All right, we are located at 1263 Bennett Avenue in Suite 2, and so it's right in the back of the Bennett Building Medical Complex, kind of across from the old Stinker Station and behind the car lot there on the corner of Main and Bennett. And our telephone number is 678-1191, and we do our best to try and have some flexible and extended hours because it is a working community here. So we open at 7 a.m. every morning, and Monday and Wednesday and Friday we close at 5, and Tuesday and Thursday we extend our hours until 6 to try and get a few extra folks in after work or maybe after school.
I tell you what, folks, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. We give each other a hard time, Nick Greenwell, but I'll tell you what, he's one of my dearest friends, and they do a fantastic job at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, 678-1191. Nick Greenwell, God bless. Thanks for being on the program.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate the call, and stay off the ground, will you?
Thanks, Nick. Appreciate it. All right. Oh, dear people over there at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. Right now, we're going to send it back over to Wheels. We've got about a 3 or 4 minute break, and then we're going to celebrate Veterans Day this next half hour. You stay tuned.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
This is a very special half hour to me because on this program, I will do and say anything to support our veterans, our military. And I have with me a husband and wife dynamic duo that I have the ultimate of respect for. They have served their country many, many times, and they're still serving their country. Being in the military, Mike and Georgia Greenwell, God's blessings to both of you for being here this morning.
Oh, thank you, Zeb. Appreciate you having us here.
I noticed you kind of looked out of the corner of your eye, Mike, when I said that because you were wondering whether she was going to talk first. You're a typical husband, always afraid of what's going on around you, right?
Situational awareness is what they call that in the Army.
Situational awareness. I got to write that down. Thank you. Well, let's start with the lovely lady first.
Absolutely.
George has been on our program many, many times. Veterans Day, what does it mean to you?
Veterans Day to me means that the people who serve in our military have an extra day to be appreciated. We should always appreciate them every day, but this is an extra day for the businesses and those people who would have loved to served or couldn't at the time get to say thank you.
Well, I'm on that list. I was 4F and couldn't serve, but I feel so humbled being in the presence of people like you that have literally put your lives on the line and served this country. Mike, I'll ask you the same question. What does it mean to you, Veterans Day 2016?
It's kind of hard for me to answer. I'll be quite frank with you. People come up to me and say, when they find out I'm a veteran, thank you for your service. And I almost have not a cringe reaction, but it's kind of I really don't know how to take it sometimes because, frankly, I absolutely loved it. It encompassed some of the worst times of my life, but it also encompassed the best times of my life.
What would you both say to people, and I know you've heard that. Deanne, I need you to come in and turn something down for me, if you would, just for a second. What would you say to people? Well, it's just a job. It's the same as any job. They just go to work. They get paid for it. Why are we so specially treating them? Oh, boy, that makes my blood boil. You're putting your lives on the line to serve this country, and comparably the same as what our policemen and firemen do, putting their lives on the line to serve this country. How can anybody just say that is a job?
Well, they obviously don't have a perspective on what it actually entails, and that's one of the things. I don't make determinations on what someone's position does. For a good example, my daughter is a military police officer in South Korea right now. I have no idea what her job is, even though I was around the military for a very long time. I can't make a judgment determination on what she does on a daily basis because I've never been in that environment.
Right.
So I'm not going to prejudge it. And for those to prejudge what we are and who we are and what we've done or what we do, it's just that displays to me their level of intelligence.
Now, this is an official United States public holiday, November 11th, and I'm sorry I'm not on the air tomorrow. I would have given a full-scale 3-hour program for Veterans Day. But let's go back and forth. I've had you folks on the air many times in the past, and God bless you for coming over here today. What did you do, Mike, first of all, in the military and still are doing?
I entered the military in 1985 in the delayed entry program. I went through basic training and advanced individual infantry training in 1986. Was a paratrooper for many years.
Yeah, we've talked about jumping out of perfectly good running airplanes.
Yep. That's because Air Force pilots were flying them.
Yes.
But no, I did that for 11 years, and we decided at that point, I'd had a few accidents and a few close calls, so it was determined at that point to maintain harmony with my spouse. I should get into a different career line. I entered recruiting and then training, and eventually was a first sergeant for a pre-basic training company. So
now, I really look at you two the same as I do my wife and I. It's not easy for a husband and wife to share the same type of career field. And Georgia, you're over there with the kind of the same look that my lovely wife out in the other room has. Has it been difficult, both of you being in the military and still in the military and still husband and wife? Is that hard?
It is, but the benefit of it is that we think on the same lines.
Okay.
It is really hard to be an NCO, which is a supervisor, both of us being supervisors.
Who holds the highest rank, by the way?
My husband.
Your husband?
Yes.
Okay, I was kind of wishing it would be that way. I'd like to see the look on Mike's face.
At one time, we were both staff sergeants at the same time.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
But then he outranked me.
And now both of you have served overseas. Georgia, we've heard your story in the past, too. What did you do in the military?
Well, my first branch of service was the Air Force, and I was in Panama during the Noriega operations.
Oh.
Yeah, so that was from 89 to 91.
Wow.
I worked on the flight line. I actually built pilots and loaded aircraft, and also did the passengers that would ride the military aircraft too.
There's a lot of people in the audience that are probably asking this question, but are too afraid to ask. But I'll be blunt and ask you, is it really hard to keep a marriage together when you're in two different locations in the world and in the military and still trying to keep the home fires burning? Is it tough? Mike, I'm going to put the ball on your court first.
absolutely, just like anything else is tough.
Yeah.
But when you're committed and you know what the stakes of the game are, people like to tell themselves all kinds of things and deny what reality is. When we first found out Georgia was going to Iraq, our children were, I think, 11 and
13.
13.
Mm-hmm.
10 and 13. 10 or 11 and 13. And so just entering their teenage years.
That's a tough age, too, by the way.
So, and it had always been Dad. It had always been me going overseas, going, deploying, doing everything else, because that was my job.
Yeah, now you turn into Mr. Mom.
And now, the tables had turned. She had gotten back into active duty side and decided that she wanted to serve again, and I wholeheartedly encouraged her to do so.
I need you to talk directly into that.
Sure.
Thanks.
We sat the kids down. As soon as we found out, we sat them down, said, this is what's going on, this is what's happening. That alone, most people looked at us like we were crazy because why did you have to tell them now?
Yeah.
It's like, because we had about 3 months until her deployment. I was like, they got the next 3 months to spend with their mom before she leaves for a year.
And I think the appreciation factor probably went way up for your
Way
kids, respect to you.
Absolutely.
Yep,
and
absolutely.
in that same vein, I also had to tell myself, she's going to be gone for a year.
Yeah.
Things are going to change. Things are not going to be the same. We're going to have to figure out how to work this out. But it's a commitment. It's just like any other commitment. You commit to each other just like you commit to, when you raise your right hand and swear to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States, you also hold that person's hand in the bounds of matrimony.
That's right.
It's a commitment.
That's right. Georgia, that last day with your husband and your kids, I can't imagine what that was like, knowing that you're pretty soon going to be waving goodbye.
Well, we did have a family day, and that meant no uniform. We got to go out with our families, go to lunch or dinner, go shopping, and spend the entire day together, which was wonderful. I do have to hand that to the military. They do support the families because the families support the soldiers.
Absolutely.
And it takes an entire village to raise kids. It's the same thing in the service. It takes an entire support group to make that soldier do their job the right way.
Now that you've done all this and served your country in so many ways and fashions in the military, do you look back and do you have any regrets? First of all, I'll start with Mike on this.
Zero. No regrets whatsoever. My only regret is that I'm getting older and I can no longer serve.
One thing I'm going to warn you on this program, let's not talk about getting older. Okay? I've got the gray hair here, not you folks. What about you? Georgia, do you have any regrets at all?
I really don't. My kids got to see me change from before I left to Iraq and when I came home. But you know what? They've been around, the two of us, ever since they were born, and they understood what the military meant and what the service meant, and still does. And they actually have all those freedoms, just like everybody else, because of the soldiers.
Have they, your kids, now they're probably about, how old are they? They're still in their teen years?
No, we have a 27-year-old,
oh my,
25, and a 22.
How time does go.
Oh, yes.
What is their thought now when you have a Thanksgiving family gathering or something and they talk about those days? Are they glad or were they kind of reticent about saying, oh, well, it was great? I mean, what are their thoughts now?
Okay. I'll take it. No, it was an entirely positive experience for them.
That's wonderful.
Yes. There were those times when one of the aircraft from her battalion got shot down. We lost a few soldiers.
Wow.
And there was a lot of people that there were those times that were gut-wrenching and you didn't have the information and you knew you weren't going to get it anytime soon, that you just had to sit there and go listen, say your prayers, think about your mother, think about what needs to be done, and continue to move. Shoot, move, and communicate. That's the tenets of the infantry. So
we've got a caller, but I want you to respond to that, Georgia, real quick.
Actually, it was nice because I got 3 letters. Nobody read each other's letters. It was one from my husband and each from the kids.
Oh.
And they got to tell what was going on at home. And I think that was a huge relief for them because they're like, okay, we can't talk to Mom all the time, but we're going to write it all down.
Okay, we're going to take a call. I mean, you're making my eyes get all puffy. Stop that. Caller, go ahead quickly. You're on the air.
Yeah, I'd like their opinion on going to a war with rules. Thanks.
Okay, that's a good question. It's a fair question. Real quick, I'm going to ask both of you this, and I got to get a weather forecast in here. There seems to be, in the last 8 years, I'm going to specifically say the last 8 years, more of a tie America's hands behind their backs and send our men and women into a tragic situation. Do you feel the same way I do, that there's been too many rules and regulations put on our military? Georgia, you take that first.
Yes, absolutely. When we had gate guard, we had our soldiers up on the towers checking the perimeter and everything else for people snooping around and whatever. I had 2 young soldiers that were up there, and their ROE was, if you don't get shot at first, you can't shoot at the bad guy. Or you had to run down the tower, get on the radio, and ask for permission to shoot back.
After you've been shot at?
That's correct. Yes, they had to have a report in saying they were shot at, and then asked to be if they could shoot back.
And I want to remind that this was at the height. This was in 2004 and 2005. This wasn't at the latter days where things had calmed down a bit. This was at the height. Fallujah, things like that were going on, and the rules of engagement, or ROE as we call it, were so restrictive that soldiers, unless they were getting shot at, could not return fire. And they could see somebody out there with a rocket launcher walking outside of the perimeter. They could not engage that individual or a weapon unless that individual shot first. And it completely... Okay, there need to be rules in place. Soldiers cannot be just, all right, guys, go out there, just destroy everything, come back when you're done. I understand there need to be rules in place. But when those rules put our soldiers at risk, put our mission at risk, those rules are written contrary to what we should be doing there in the first place.
Mike, are they, quick short answer on this, I got to get that weather in, but have they been, those rules been terminated or adjusted, or are they the same way today?
No, they're the same way today, if not worse.
Absolutely terrible. Terrible. Stand by, caller. I'll get to you in a minute. Quickly, we've got to have a weather forecast here brought to you by Scarrows Meats. 331 North Road, Jerome. The number to call, 324-7657. They are changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. Your locally owned custom meat processor for over 20 years. Scarrows Meats in Jerome. Here's Gina with the weather.
Here's your weather forecast as we saddle up and ride again on this Thursday, November 10th, and it is going to be a beautiful day and getting even better as we work closer towards the weekend. Sunny skies and 67 is what we're looking at. Overnight low of 43. Tomorrow, maybe 70, just depending on where you're at. Sunny skies and 68 is the actual temperature. Overnight low of 44. And then for the weekend, more clouds are going to be moving in, but still unseasonably warm. Looks like highs in the low to mid-60s, and lows are going to be in the low 40s. That is your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Brought to you by Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome, changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. Caller, quickly, short time, short question. Go ahead, you're on the air.
This rule of engagement thing has always been it just made me mad as hell, and nobody seems to care, and nobody seems to understand it. And the fact that this was happening during the George Bush Jr. administration shows me that he maybe wasn't who we thought he was, because if you know that him and his wife voted for Hillary the other day, that's what had been implied. And then, of course, you bring on the Obama administration. You know, you say to yourself, we send these men into harm's way, and then we don't even take care of them after they've been annihilated. Thanks.
All right, thank you. Go ahead, both of you respond to that caller quickly, if you would. Mike, I'll let you have that one first. Real short answer.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I do understand it was under George Bush's purview, and while I don't agree with everything that President Bush did, this has been going on for a long time. The military is being co-opted from within. You got to remember, generals are confirmed by our Senate and Congress. This comes back to us as citizens to ensure that our representatives do what we want them to do.
Can we change this? I mean, I'm absolutely appalled knowing you two. I don't know you well, but I know you and I respect you, what you've done for this country. I don't want you to have a target on your back. I think that's absolutely appalling that we're putting our men and women in harm's way where if somebody does something to you, turn the other cheek and then run and hide and go grab your gun. We might give you permission. This has got to change, Georgia.
Yes, it does. And if I've been keeping track of the things that's going over in Mosul and all the other places over there where close to where I was, I keep an eye on it, and I'm seeing that they're not reporting it before the attacks like they used to. They're actually being a little more tactile about it and not giving any information until afterwards.
Okay, now I'm going to shotgun some questions because we're limited on time, and God bless both of you. I need to have you back. With ISIS, this terrible cancerous encroachment on the entire world, not just one area of ISIS and Islamic Jihad. Mike, is this problem bigger than what we're told it is?
Absolutely. I'm sorry, but it started a long time ago. I look at things from a historical perspective, and how do you control a populace? You control a populace by destabilizing the world around them, those people. The Middle East has gone from Yes, there was a war going on there. There were some bad things going on there, but the Middle East was far more stable 10 years ago than it is today. And right now there are no more borders between Syria and Iraq. They've dissolved, and that entire place has become a zoo.
And ISIS, or any form of Islamic Jihad, has now encroached here in this country. We have understood from various think tanks that I call and people that I know are in the know on this subject that there are actually military camps with ISIS in our own country, in Oregon, upstate New York, other places in Texas, etc. This frustrates me. It must really frustrate you as a military person, Georgia.
Oh, absolutely. I don't want to be, Krause or anything, but it's just like the Red Dawn when back in the early 80s.
Yes.
They're splitting the country in half. They're coming up from the north, they're coming up from the south. Any way they can cross the border in here to influence all of our young people to think the way they think.
Okay, now real short on this too. We've had Trump elected as president. A lot of people don't like him. A lot of people don't trust his naivete as far as being a politician, which I think might be a good thing. Mike, can he help install a better feeling of more stability in the military?
I do believe he can. He is going to have his detractors, and he's going to have those. One thing I want everyone to remember, the fight is not over. Just because he was elected doesn't mean the fight is over. There are still a lot of people out there that hate this country, that are citizens of this country, and those are the ones that ultimately are still going to be the ones we need to either bring to our side or defeat. I'm sorry, but this is a fight, and it's not over yet.
Georgia, from the ladies' perspective, and everybody says, that ISIS is way overblown, we don't have to worry about it, it's not here. The Islamic Jihad is also, with the Muslim Brotherhood, involved in our own government. I mean, this is a cancer that's growing, and everybody looks at me and says, oh, I'm being a hate monger and a bigot. How would you respond to that?
It's not a hate monger. It's a disease, and it's spreading fast. If we don't put our foots down and stand up to them and say, listen, if you are in my country, which a lot of countries do, they only allow the people they want to come in. They don't let anybody and everybody come in. And I do understand the United States is completely different. We are a melting pot. But if you can't follow the rules, the laws, and the regulations, then I don't think you get to stay.
Real quick, last question. I have been appalled for months over the attitude and actions of certain individuals that started and was precipitated by Colin Kaepernick of the 49ers, disrespecting our flag and our national anthem. I'm going to tell you what right now. I would stand probably in front of a court of law because I'd take him out on the hardest block you ever saw in your life. Your feelings quickly on this.
His own family has decried what he's doing right now. And one thing I want to remind everyone out there listening, I love football. Okay, I love watching football. I haven't watched one NFL game this year, and it's primarily due to that the mindset that exists in the NFL leadership that will not quash this and put it down. And remind everyone out there, you can also do the same thing. Now, when one ant gets in your picnic basket, it's not a big deal. When the whole anthill crawls in your picnic basket, that's when it becomes a problem.
Excellent. Georgia, your response to that. I mean, I just want to see some American pride restored to this country.
You are absolutely right. For him to disrespect not only the flag, but the people who served in the military who are in the NFL is very disgraceful. Just the soldiers, everybody who enjoys their football, it's all American. It's something that we American loves to do, is watch our football.
God bless our military. Tomorrow, Veterans Day, November 11th, God bless those that serve to keep us all free. Mike and Georgia, God bless you. I mean that. Thank you so much for being on the program.
Thank you, sir, and God bless you.
I've got one quick commercial, and then we're going to wrap it up for the day, and I want to say thank you to our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations, all over Magic Valley. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family and Paul, Daniel on Pole Line, Line in Twin Falls, and my buddy Randy on Overland in Burley. Don't forget to check out all the cold weather tires for driving on ice and snow and rain and dry conditions. They've got them all for you. They are experts, and they can help you also on the tire chains and the batteries, the front end alignments, the shocks and struts, and the brakes. Stop in today and see these folks, because they are the professionals for your safe driving. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. We're going to wrap it up, put it back in the box for this week, open it up again on Monday, ride the horse for 3 hours from 8 to 11, Zeb at the Ranch, and remember, the way things were are the way things ought to be. Tomorrow, Veterans Day. God bless the USA.